During this special time of year, we here at the Real Review 3000 and KHAOS Central would like to thank you for all the support you have shown us this year. It is with our gratitude that we wish you and your family and friends, and even those who may disagree with us, the fandom menace, a happy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
I'll tell you all about it. That was real good. That was money, first of all. Let's do another.
Whoa. Where am I at? Right there I am. I like my screen went blank for a second. I was like, what the hell happened? What's going on, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000 and the Mandalorian Roundtable. As you see, we have some of the usual suspects here and some other people who aren't always here because we do have a full revolving panel. Anybody is welcome to, if they have things to do, they're more than welcome not to be here, although we appreciate them when they are here. So we're going to go around really quick and have all of you guys tell everybody who you are, where you can be found, all that great stuff. Starting with the man to my technically right, but this is my left. I mean, I got to remember that. It's like opposite.
I know, it's confusing, right? It totally screws with your head.
Yeah, it does. It's the whole Hollywood stage thing. Stage
left, even.
Stage right. Anyways, nobody will know the horrors and the pain that this causes us. Yes, yeah, it's that way.
Yeah.
All right. But Mr. Comix Division, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and all that good stuff.
All right, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Comix Division, as well as my channel, Comix Division, on YouTube.
Okay. Well, I forgot. You're used to doing this really, really quick. Some people are, some people aren't. You know,
I'm kind of brief, man. It's like I don't know what else to say. So
it's great. It's great. But you're also, some of the shows you're on, Friday Night Tights and stuff like that, everybody's really just boom, boom. Here we are. You know who we are. This type of stuff. So I understand. But you guys are hilarious one way or another. Comic Chat, Mr. Danny Graham. Tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, all that great stuff.
I am Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. I too can be found on Twitter at Comic Chats 2 and on YouTube at Comic Chat. I have several different shows throughout the week, several different genres, several different categories. Just this morning, Chris and I did one on Planet Solo, Guitar Soloist. Tomorrow we doing the countdown of top 50 bad guys. So it's a whole plethora of different information, different content. So please check me out when you can. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Absolutely. Always, always, always. Let's see here. Up next, let's do Positive Candor. Positive Candor, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and all of the wonderful stuff.
All right. Found on Twitter at Positive Candor and my YouTube channel, Positive Candor.
All right. And up next, Mr. Sith Lord 3827, as he lights his cigar there. JJ, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found. You remember that mute button, right?
God damn it, motherfucker.
just watch. Don't worry, JJ. We handle that part of it for you. You don't even have to curse there. We'll take care of it.
Damn it.
Go ahead.
Anyway, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy JJ. Don't know what on and off means anymore, so you can find me a little bit everywhere, but most time you can find me hanging around Chris or around Danny, Nzo, even Elihu. I don't know why, but yeah, even him. But you can find me on Twitter at Sith Lord 3827. Also, what's up, guys? Great to see you all. Can't wait to get back into it.
Awesome. Up next, Elihu Who you. Yeah. Remember that mute button? Yeah, sure.
Of course. Did that on purpose.
I know.
I am Elihu Who, and I can be found everywhere I know at the same time, sometimes in between. But when I'm not there, every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific time, I have my own show called What's Up with the Universe. We talk astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology, but down to the basic stuff. And I'm also on Twitter.
Yes, indeed you are. Let's see here. up next and not last for sure, the Austinator. Austinator, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Yeah, what's up, guys? This is the Austinator, that one guy in the salmon suit, also known as the Austinator. I'll be back. I am officially on the road to 100 subscribers. I am currently at 82. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. I do a bunch of stuff on my channel. I'm basically a topic whore and a stream whore, so you can find me everywhere. And I also have a Twitter, so if you ever want to hit me up in my DMs, just look me up at the Austinator17. And if you don't have Twitter, that's A-OK. I also got Discord at the Austinator, so please go check all my stuff out.
Yes, indeed.
And real quick, meow.
Yes, Moira Kitty is in the chat. Very good to have you here, Moira. I appreciate you being here. And Austinator, I'm glad I could help to your addiction and your cause of being a stream whore. Learning from people like me only help that. So anyways.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it did.
Austinator,
Yeah.
what in God's name is a salmon suit?
What Squidward's wearing right there?
Yes, indeed.
He's wearing a salmon. He's a salmon.
If you have to ask, you don't want to know.
I'm sorry that I already asked. Really.
I am too.
Well, now you know.
Please continue, Chris. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. That's everybody. So we might have some more people coming in a little bit later, but we'll get to them as we go along. And with that said, guys, let's talk the Mandalorian. What is this, episode or chapter 11 or 12? 11. Yeah, 11. The Heiress. So we're going to do what we do every week. Start with what you liked about, or no, overall. I'm sorry. I got to get this straight on my own. Talk about what you liked overall and all that stuff. Just the overall impressions of this episode. Comics, go ahead.
Overall, I thought it was a really good episode. It's honestly, I think, probably the best of the series so far. Maybe with the exception of 7 and 8 of last season, but definitely the best for season 2. Okay. Really liked it. A lot of good stuff in it. Few minor issues, but for the most part, it's really good.
All right, very good. Anything else? Just overall, yes.
Just overall, yes. Yeah.
Awesome, Danny. Overall impression of the first of this.
I'm pretty much going to piggyback off of what Comix Division said. I think it was the best show of the series. Definitely the best show of this season. Not too much that I was not happy about. So I am excited and hoping that it will get even more better as the series progresses.
Very good. Positive Candor. What did you think overall of this episode?
Yeah, overall it was a good episode.
Okay.
I would say it's probably tied to me with the Marshall for the best episode this season so far.
All right. AJ.
Well, I have to echo everybody else so far that I thought it was the best episode this season so far. You know, and I only had one major gripe with it, so therefore, you know, it was quite entertaining, and it's finally starting to move the story along a little bit.
Very good. Elihu.
I actually liked it. Kind of made me realize that the Mandalorian is a spin-off from Rebels with the Rebels crossover on this episode. I'm like, okay, I like this. I wonder if anybody picked up on that, but
Oh no, yeah.
okay, yeah, I
I
figured
have
you
no
would.
clue. Have no clue what you're talking about.
All right. Austinator.
I'm going to have to basically kind of piggyback off everybody on the panel. I think as far as season 2 goes, I think this is probably the best episode so far because the first 2 episodes I had major problems with. I think with episode 3, they're finally going in the right direction and they're starting to progress the plot a little more. And tying back into Rebels, I thought that was cool, seeing as I watched Rebels and I've enjoyed it. So overall, very good episode.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the first episode where overall there is not one thing that I can absolutely say well, I could nitpick on this. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing that I can nitpick on that really hurt the episode. It all worked out really well. Yeah, I'll go to the other stuff that I like for it, and we'll talk about that here next. Because next, what we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna try to have a 3-minute time for everybody to talk about what their favorite thing was of this episode. After that 3 minutes, we will go ahead and talk about it and ask questions if you have something to ask of another person on the panel of what they said. So, Comix, start with you. I'm not going to show the timer, but you'll hear the alarm if it goes off before you're done. Just so
okay.
You know.
All right.
So your time starts now.
Like I said, there's not a lot I did not like about the episode. I love the whole thing with the landing was pretty funny, where the engine gave out last minute and it gets dumped into the water. That was absolutely hilarious. I mean, there's like a lot of these like little moments in there that are just really well done. Katie Sackhoff was great as Bo-Katan. I'm kind of questioning the age of the character though, considering she's been around since Clone Wars. It had a lot of nice tie-ins with obviously Clone Wars, Rebels, whatnot, and the whole thing with the Darksaber. Mm-hmm. Overall, man, it's I really enjoyed it. The action was pretty decent, and I'll save my complaints for later. Other than that, solid episode. It did move the needle. It did move the needle for a change.
Indeed. All right. Danny, go ahead. 3 minutes.
I really like the show because I've heard a lot of people on some of this panel, some on other shows, saying that it's stupid why he always has his helmet on. We found out why. Some always say about you don't see Moff Gideon. We saw Moff Gideon. So I'm saying that the show doesn't progress. It's just doing other shows from last season, just kind of refurbishing them, doing a different spin. This is a totally different spin. To me, the show is progressing in the correct way because he's always said he has been tasked with trying to find this child's planet, and the way he has to do that is go through different Mandalorians. We saw 3 different Mandalorians this season, so to me, it's heading in the right. I'm correction this episode, so it's heading in the right direction. And we also heard that we're going to see Ahsoka, maybe not next week, but in the near future. So to me, it's heading in the right direction. I don't know what Star Wars fans want because all the questions and all the things they've been bringing up this episode, in my opinion, checked off. So I thought it was a fantastic episode. Looking forward to more.
All right. Yes. Dandelion Fluff, really quick, loves your shirt. Eli, what is it? What does it say? Fett? Oh, yeah, Boba Fett. That's nice. The Bounty Hunter. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Ah, yes. Very nice. All right. Up next, Positive Candor. I'll give you 3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right.
Not sure.
Yeah, loved all the callbacks to Rebels, especially. I love even the callbacks to previous species. We saw Calamari. We saw an Akbar there. We saw
Mon Calamari.
Yeah, Mon Calamari. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw an Akbar there. We saw the Corn were in this episode as well. The squid faces, whatever you want to call them. We obviously saw Bo-Katan, which to me, put this episode way, improvement. But if you want to gripe about her age, okay, that's maybe one gripe because she didn't age at all basically between Rebels and this. But then again, how far is Rebels after Return Jedi as well? It's I'd have to look that up. But
Rebels actually takes place before New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Well then, okay.
That probably happens about 7 to 8 years ahead of time.
Actually, from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi is about 4 to 5 years. but she
Honestly,
also popped in on the Clone Wars, not just Rebels.
okay. But yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
besides that, everything else was great. I love the scene inside the Imperial ship where they basically shoot the guys out the cargo hold because where do you have them locked up? Oh, they're in the control room. Duh. I mean, literally.
Yeah, you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. So that was funny. There's a lot of good funny parts in this.
Sure.
That's it.
All right. Very good. JJ, I'll set the clock for the 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Well, pretty much everything that everybody else has said. It was I thought it was a really good episode. Bo-Katan coming in, most of us that has been paying attention already knew that we were going to get this character sometime within the season. The fact that they brought Katie Sackhoff to pull a real life version of her voiced self, I thought was brilliant. I thought the story flowed really well. Like I said, I only had one gripe about it, and the fact that Sackhoff's character is way too young for the actual character itself. That didn't even bother me. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a great episode. I agree with Comix. The beginning of it, the ship falling off into the water, that was quite funny. I was like, seriously, come on, man, you can do better than that. But all in all, that's my, I really like the episode. I have very few gripes about it. Like I said, I got one. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. Elihu Who, go ahead. 3 minutes.
Begins now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to echo a couple people. I love how they trolled Elon Musk at the beginning. I really love that part. What? Come on.
You're gonna have to explain that one, man.
The landing. Smooth.
Oh, okay.
SpaceX.
All right.
The first time.
Sorry.
I knew her.
No joke. Sorry. Okay. Hey, Chris, can you share my screen real fast?
Oh my God.
Yes. Bo-Katan left. Animated. Right. Live action. I love how they made sure of this. When they was drawing her character, they actually focused on the face and you can actually tell that. If you look
That's
at
how
the
they
helmet,
work in animation these days. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I have to say, Katie Sackhoff looks amazing as a redhead.
Yes.
It does.
If you look at the helmet, they actually got the exact patterns and designs.
Yeah, they did.
The cartoon.
That was really well done.
And I also love the fact that little coy look she gave the child, when she first met him on the boat. I'm like, yeah, because she had interacted with Yoda before, she knows what this kid is. It's like, didn't freak out. I was like, what is that? Like, oh, okay, I know this guy. I love that part. It's like, just coyed.
Mm-hmm.
Until he actually asked for her help. It's like, okay, then I'll help you. It's my creed. Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go down to Austinator. Austinator, I'll give you your 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Well, I think one of the biggest positives, again, would just be I would just say the way it's going, because my biggest issue with the first 2 episodes was that it was very side quest-ish, and it didn't necessarily, the story wasn't really going along like it should have.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode, again, like I said before, it's going in the right direction, and it's starting to go more in the direction of continuing the story. I do like the opening with the landing. I thought that was pretty interesting and well done. I like the action sequence at the end with the Imperials, and I really liked I liked Katie Sackhoff in this. She did a fantastic job, and the throwbacks to Clone Wars and Rebels especially were kind of one of those things that ticked the boxes for me. And even when Katie Sackhoff or Bo-Katan asked where is it, referencing the dark saber because of what was going on because we all know what happened in Clone Wars with Death Watch and who got the dark saber. I think it was a nice way to connect the connect those plot lines with the Mandalorian and continuing to talk about the Darksaber, because that was kind of a question I had, especially going into Mandalorian season 2, was, well, what happened to the Darksaber? Why isn't it on Mandalore where Maul was? But, you know, everything that they did in this episode was done well.
Okay. All right. Nick, how you doing? Real
Hey,
quick,
what's up, buddy?
we've changed a little bit of how we're doing this. So you've missed the overall. We're just now doing the what you liked about it. So I'll tell you and Shellback at the same time. 3 minutes to talk about this, about what you liked, and just give us your overall impression right at the first. But we're trying to make it so everybody gets like 3 minutes, and then after we're all done, we can talk about it together for a few minutes and ask questions if we have questions for anybody.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So I'll start off first. Overall, I liked it. I wouldn't say it was great, but I really enjoyed it, and it definitely had some much needed story movement.
Mhm.
So I was a very big fan of little things like obviously with the ship where you're like, oh, it's gonna happen. Oh, no, ain't gonna happen. And then I love it's once again another little thing I like is where you see the hologram of Moff Gideon. I loved how I actually felt his presence, even though he wasn't physically there. I'm like, bro, I felt that, man. I felt the chills up in there. So, and of course, you know, having Bo-Katan from the voice actress and, you know, facial likeness to in real life was. I remember like watching episodes. I'm like, man, she looks just like in the cartoon. It's kind of freaky. And then, lo and behold. And I find it very humorous that somehow the Razor Crest is still holding up, because people thought the Millennium Falcon is a piece of crap. Look at the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest is like a beat up like Volkswagen car. I'm like, bro, you're just gonna ride this thing out till there's absolutely no life left. It's like, seriously, you want to take your damaged car and just keep on going? It's just like, all right, baby, get in the back. We're gonna keep on going.
It's like everybody's teen years when you had that Taurus or something that just kept on going.
Oh yeah,
going.
It's a total he's driving the high school vehicle.
He's driving the rabbit
vehicle. Hey, totally is. Yeah, you're packing your people. You're all right, we're gonna get in there. We'll just get the point A, point B, and that's all that matters. We'll figure out the rest later. Anyways, I also like how they mentioned finally with the helmets is he's from like a more radicalized form of the Mandalorians, like basically a cult, if you will. But that's fine, whatever. It's fine. But it's finally something we've been needing. It's about bloody time. So yeah, overall, a good solid episode with much needed story movement. The action was cool, especially with the Under Mandalorian saving Din Djarin. And I'm like, dude, that seems kick-ass. And I loved how they presented like Bo-Katan like as like Elihu who just happens to kick ass, not just, you know, beating us over the head with frickin' I'm better than you all day long type of Captain Marvel type of BS. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Shellback, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. So you heard what we're doing?
Yeah. And at this point, I don't know if I have anything different to offer.
Still, let's hear what you guys say. Go ahead, give us your overall and what you liked about it. I mean, because, you know, just go ahead. So,
overall, it was good. And I might even be as bold enough to say that it might be the best episode we've gotten in this series so far. You know, and despite people, you know, I'm sure there's somebody out there who's like, oh, it's another side quest. You know, he has to go with Bo-Katan and help her, and yada. But there was progression. There was progression. Mm-hmm. There was a treat at the end of that maze. You know. Yeah. So, and like Nick said, you know, we finally got some actual context to the helmet thing. So, you know, basically the Mandalorian is orthodox. But yeah, I mean, you know, overall it was very good. And although, well, I don't know, that might be I don't know if that'll be a that might be a negative thing. But
Okay.
I'll go ahead and mention it anyway. What's her name? Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes, whatever her last name. I can't remember right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think I remember seeing and or hearing an article or two about them saying that she was Sabine. But that turns out to not be the case. That she was the other Mandalorian gal of a different name. But you know, she just like Katie. You know, she was right there, doing what needed to be done. And yes, probably my fanboy special of a positive here is. This is the third iteration, whatever, of Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan.
All right. So I'm going to move Bear up here. We're going to move everybody just around one, basically.
Bare necessity.
Yeah. But Bear, we're going to go ahead and go to you. So you missed the overall and what you liked about it. We're going ahead and giving us a 3-minute time period to talk about what you liked about it, but I'll wait a few minutes or a few seconds, I should say, to let you say what you had an overall opinion of this. And then after you're done talking, I'll give mine, and then we can talk about what we liked all together for a few minutes. Okay.
All right. As to the side quest, I think this episode probably had the least amount of side quest, and it felt more like adventure. And I was kind of glad to see that because I was kind of getting like, okay, side quest after side quest, diversion after diversion, kind of hoping to see some punchlines here and there a little bit, just a little. And overall, I'm liking the episode. I probably have to agree with Shellback that it might be the best episode so far. And my favorite part, of course, was when Bo-Katan and comrades came into play. Good scene, liked it. I like the characters from Clone Wars they pulled and all that. I like the connectivity, the connecting tissues of it. Because I just went back and recently just watched the final season of Clone Wars. And I really liked it.
Oh. Ah. Where do I go?
We lost somebody.
Yeah. That's my fault. Okay, very good. I apologize, Eli.
I thought that was my fault. My StreamYard just messed up.
No, I think I screwed up. I don't know.
Oh,
we'll talk about it.
My StreamYard just messed up. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, shit.
Okay,
well, I'm back.
Let's see here. So I already did my overall, and let's talk about. First before that, the Price is Right review, $10 super chat. Thank you so very much. Super chats, we love super chats. Sup party animals. I'm absolutely loving Mando season 2 so far. Wishful thinking. What would complete this series for me if they brought in Kyle Katarn, from a former bounty hunter turned Jedi Battlemaster? Ooh, interesting. I don't know.
That would be cool as hell, but it ain't happening.
Must be from the EU because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, he's from the EU.
Yeah. But well, isn't that who they based? What's his name? In
well, he's the one that actually got the plans for the Battlestar.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that's the guy that they used that basis of a character for Rogue One, isn't that?
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't use the character, but they
they stole them. They stole everything about him.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did I like about this, man? Again, yes, everybody's mentioned all this stuff. Absolutely, my favorite thing so far is Danny. I'm gonna give you props. You're right. They're continuing this. We left here in the last episode. Here we are in this episode. What in the world are you doing? Who was that?
That was your alarm going off, man.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
not my,
me.
no, that's not my alarm.
It wasn't me.
I don't know who that
My
is.
hand was cold.
Somebody's going to the Sarlacc pit. Okay. But I do like that they're finally getting this idea of we were here, we're still here. We didn't go some monumental distance. We're still right here.
They connected it.
Yeah, well, not just that. Anybody who thinks this is a side quest, is it a side quest? Yes, there is a side quest within this, but it is very important that this happens. You do get to see Moff Gideon again.
You get to see a kick-ass battle.
You get, dude. One of my favorite scenes was the scene in the ship. The way that it progressed, you get to. I love it when they bring in the nostalgic old Empire look in the ship. So you see inside there, the stormtroopers. You didn't feel like the Empire is not as dead as they thought in season 1. It's obvious. These guys still have.
Well, that's the way it
firepower.
should be too.
Exactly. Just because they lost their big battleship does not mean they're gone. They're on the run, perhaps. The rebels are now the new Republic, or they're heading that way. But it's still, wars don't end overnight. And
well, not only that, empires
later.
don't necessarily fall overnight too. You still have the regional governors that maintain control and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some star systems that won't just say, "Okay, we're free." They're still gonna be afraid, and we're getting more of that. I like that, and
it felt like the remnant.
Yeah, and
it did.
They just, I don't know, they clicked off so many things. Bo-Katan, that was beautifully done. And I will get to the next thing that some people might bring up about what they didn't like about this. We'll talk about that. If we don't get to it, then I'll talk about it after we're done with that. But the religious zealots, the whole, we now know why he thinks he can't take his helmet off, and now they did it. And that's the answer so many people constantly threw into every damn chat and Twitter feed that I've seen so far. Well, Mandalorians, they take their helmets off all the time. They've messed up canon. They've done this. Okay, now we know why. So what are they going to go to now? I mean, they're going to go to something, but I really liked that they found a way to just say, this is why. So now, did everybody hear that?
I mean, his time is up.
Yes, my time is up. Well, of course it's up. I know how to talk for 3 minutes straight. I know how to talk for 10 minutes straight. Give me a break. Okay.
All right. Be quiet, Jess. Your time's up.
JJ has done nothing but want to say that to me for a long time.
Sith Lord deals in ultimatums. That's a Sith. See that?
Mm-hmm. All right. So, okay, let's talk about it all together. I mean, did they not answer a lot of the questions with this?
We now know that he was a child of the Watch, and I guess the children of the Watch got a certain creed that they live by, and I guess one of the creeds is to not take your helmet off because that's just the way they've been raised. So that certifies that answer for me.
I had a question about the Watch. Are they referring to Black Watch in this?
It's supposed to be Death Watch. Yeah.
Death Watch? Not Black Watch, Death Watch.
No, not Death Watch, because even Death Watch in the Clone Wars removed their helmets. It's explained that they're religious zealots, and Death Watch is not that.
Children of the Watch. The Watch had a falling out within themselves, and that became Death Watch.
Right.
So they were all part of the same group, but the Death Watch has walked away from the hardcore, don't remove your mask, don't do this, don't do that, this is the way, blah, blah, blah. But they understand what's going on. And that was so great how they did it. She's like, oh, I know who you are. And when they did it, it was perfect because this explains so much, because here he is. You're not real Mandalore, because they take their helmet off, and then she explains it. No, you got this all wrong. You've been brainwashed to believe that you're a part of this group.
So apparently everybody on that main planet the Mandalorians that got killed in last season, all of them were children of the Watch, and also the armorer, based on what we've seen.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say that the blacksmith, she is probably the main leader of the Watch, and we're probably going to learn about that because we know she's still around.
Yeah.
I would say that they're going to go that direction. They're going to let us. They're going to. I don't know if she's going to become something that bigger or if we're just going to continue, but I think we're going to learn a lot more about her because I think she's going to be the one that kept it going. Just the way that she's still alive, the rest of them are gone. You know, that I think that we're going to see that, but we'll find out.
I'm a little confused because there's 4 episodes left, and the purpose of Mandalorian is
5 episodes.
So five.
Sorry, 5. And the purpose of Mandalorian is to return the child to his people. At this point in time, the only people left of his people are Jedis, and Ahsoka says she's not a Jedi anymore. The only other 2 people who qualifies to return the child to is Luke and Leia. So where's it going to go from there?
Guess we're going to find out.
I don't think, honest to God, I mean, I know that there's been, in the off season, there was some talk about Luke showing up. I'm still going to hold them to their word that they said that there weren't going to be any Jedis in this. They may be mentioning it, but I think that's what I think their answer for that is going to be Ahsoka. She's a Force user. She's all but a Jedi because she never went through the trials, but she basically kept the Jedi way. She just walked the line. I think
that's what I'm saying. She's going to say, "I'm not a Jedi. I can't take this child."
I don't think that's what she'll say. She won't lie. She'll say maybe something like that, but she'll be like, "I know the Jedi way. I know where a Jedi is because I have the ability to reach out using the Force to find them." She is a means to an end in this, and if they want to keep that no Jedi in this show, that's the only way you can go. She is it, and she will either the way this series will end is she'll be the one to take him, or we'll see her walking him to the child to Leia or Luke, and it'll fade to black before we see him. I mean, that's kind of where I think it'll go, because I don't know why you bring Luke or Leia into this. This is not
because at the time frame, the only Jedi in the universe left is Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka.
I think what you have to do is you have to remember what the armor lady said to him. She was like, basically, she was like, back in the day, our people fought against the Jedi. And so he's got that word, Jedi stuck in his head, basically. But
well, she did basically.
We all know that technically the only Jedi there are right now is Luke and whoever he may be training, because I don't even think Leia ever called herself a Jedi. Did she?
After
no.
Leia.
Right. Now is the time frame to where Luke is training Leia. This is before he started his school.
And Ahsoka.
Kind of Leia.
Ahsoka's not.
Well, she's in training, but still, she says Jedi.
Kind of.
Well, we don't know because I don't.
Emphasis on kind of.
Well, Ahsoka is more like just a Force user.
I'll say it.
She's walked away from the Order.
The closest thing to a gray Jedi you get to.
She walked away from the Order, and she's even from her own mouth. She's like, "I'm not a Jedi." But. And that's one of my issues so far as they keep using that word when there's not even really any Jedi around.
Well, here's the thing though, they don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know Order 66 killed all the Jedi.
And obviously the way we've understood this right now. Yes, Nindroid, I said it. Just chill with it. They don't. This particular group, the blacksmith and the Mandalorian, that group has been so removed from everything. Guys, he doesn't even know that you can take off your helmet. He doesn't know there's other Mandalorians that take off helmets. They are exactly what Bo-Katan called them, religious zealots. They are monks up in the mountains, away from everything. They wouldn't even know. All they know is the stories. This explains a lot about this. They have removed themselves from everything.
Chris, can you share screen?
No. If you get kicked again, it's not my fault. Don't play it. Go ahead.
Dink Ferret. That's the little insult they called him. Dink Ferret.
Well, he's said that himself. You know,
that's just a swear word within
the
Star
basically
Wars.
him saying GD or something.
Yeah. But
there's a couple other things that could be out there too. If they follow Rebels, and if we're gonna see Ahsoka, you might see Sabine. And the last time we saw Rebels, Ahsoka and Sabine were going out to look for Ezra. So Ezra might come into the picture also. And usually in Star Wars, if there is a Jedi user or someone good and there's someone equally bad, and that may be Moff Gideon, he may be a possible Sith. We don't know that. Because usually the Emperor will have people around him that are force sensitive as well. So we don't know whether or not Moff Gideon's is force sensitive, because that crash was pretty severe and he came out pretty much unscathed. That's signs of someone with a force use.
I just don't. But okay. I mean, a Sith is not a Jedi, but I think that's really towing. I think that's towing a line.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you're a light side force user, you don't have to be a Jedi. If you're a dark side force user, you don't have to be a Sith.
Also correct. Yes.
Those are just two.
They're terms.
Just two groups of, a whole bunch of people. There's all kinds of people that were force users that never became a Jedi or Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Darth Maul.
I'm not arguing that point.
No, I think that
there is no light. There is no dark. There is only the force.
We're gonna get there. Okay. What?
Only one Padawan can have. Code forbids. If he is a Sith, who is his master?
If they're going to play that game, I'm sure we'll find out.
He could start it over. If you read, Darth Bane created the Ruler 2, so he killed all the other Sith, and then he started himself. So if all the existing Sith or masters are dead, then whoever is the dark side user and picks up one of those Sith holocron, whatever, then they start from there.
And understand also, this is Disney. Disney created Exeter, and Exeter has all those hooded figures in there. I'm going to say they're all probably Sith, and that they've either found where they're more Sith or something.
Yeah,
Exegol. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just saying we got to remember, we got to keep our minds open on understanding that Disney will throw anything they want into this when they want to, when it suits their purpose.
Can I say one more thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
People are saying about what's her name? Bo-Katan. We don't know whether or not Mandalorians age at a slower rate than humans. We don't know that. There's other species, and sometimes look at Yoda. He was 800 something years old, but you can't tell him between 400 something and 500 something. So I'm not saying there's no literature that says that I read, but that could be a plausible explanation. That they may be aged a little bit slower than humans do.
Okay,
I think they're being lazy is what they're doing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Guys, let's go and move on. Let's talk about what we didn't like about this episode. So we'll start with comics, 3 minutes or thereabouts. Go ahead. Tell everybody what you didn't like about this episode.
All right, I'm gonna hit with the main points. The big one was the fact that Bo-Katan should be in her 50s and she's not. I think that if Mandalorians are basically humans, that they would age at the same rate, and there's never been anything in continuity that basically says that they live past the age of like 100. Basically how we are. There's no life extension technology. The other thing too is I felt most of the fight once they got inside the spaceship lacked a bit of tension. specifically when they're in the hangar, and this is the thing that really annoyed the crap out of me, is that Imperials aren't idiots, and they kind of treated them that way. It's like, oh yeah, they're in the hangar control bay area. And he should have realized that and immediately started fighting with them to try and gain control over the controls before they got blasted out the airlock or the cargo bay. That again, that irks me. The fact that they keep making stormtroopers a joke. I mean, come on. If you are the Empire, the stormtroopers are the best. And they keep not getting the respect that they deserve through Disney Star Wars. The other one is I didn't like the when he got dunked into the drink and there's that monster when he was trying to save the child. He should have fought the creature. I didn't like the fact that somebody else had to do the work for him. Even if he was injured and they had to help him, I think that he should have tried to do something. And they're like, just stay, we'll take care of it. Other than that, those are my main complaints.
Okay. All right. Danny.
I just have one main complaint, and Mandalorians and in particular, Mando supposed to be these big time bounty hunters who don't have a lot of trust, but he seems to trust everybody he encounters with Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah,
he has to go on a quest, and I just think that's a little, I guess, lazy. I guess so. I got to go fight the dragon here, keep the baby. I mean, if this baby is wanted by so much by the Empire and got such a bounty on his head, how does he know the person he leaves him with is not going to say, hell, I want this bounty or whatever? And that's one of the real thing. He just kind of trusts too many people with Baby Yoda when he has to go out and do a job.
Okay. Anything else? No?
That's all I got.
All right.
Hey,
I got complaints. That's about it.
All right, Bear.
Oh,
wait. Yeah, let's see here. Let me open up a window and see. It is just super chat. Okay, I thought that was a super sticker. 99-cent super chat from Poe. Thank you very much, Poe. Greatly appreciate it. Poe is in the house. All right, Bear, go ahead.
Yeah, the scene that I thought should have had a little bit more Din Djarin fighting back was that cage scene. He had a rocket pack that is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
He had fire that could come out of his gauntlet. He had whistling birds that could shoot out his other gauntlet. And I thought that he should have rocketed at least out of the cage and got out. And then they said, "Hey, we'll help you." I thought it should have happened like that. He should have been more involved.
I agree.
That's my only bone pick with that, really. And the stormtroopers too, probably. They should have probably been a little bit more better because you got a stormtrooper here and there that can't hit stuff, but there's a lot of stormtroopers that are right on the mark, and it should have been more of a challenge.
Exactly.
It shouldn't have been a joke. Yeah. But other than that, that's the only two things really.
Okay. Next, positive candor. Positive. You there?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. What didn't you like about this episode?
Well, in a way, it's one line that they mention in this episode, and then that made me think, okay, I guess all Star Wars worlds are pretty much one-dimensional. When they mention this, she mentions the city of Caladan on the Force planet of Corvus, so I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to have an Endor basically coming up eventually. So why is every planet in Star Wars pretty much one-dimensional?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be just one environment? That's the main gripe. I mean, we've almost never seen a planet with multiple environments like a planet should have on it. It's always one kind of
ecosystems. What's that?
Yeah. So that's to me a Star Wars. I guess gripe more than anything, but yeah, it's just like, okay, yeah, now we're going to an Endor planet sooner or later, and yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it looks. As long as they don't have, I guess, little furry creatures or big furry ones, because Kashyyyk was also, I guess, a forest planet for the Wookiees when you think about it. So, it's just kind of lazy in a way, how all the planets are just one dimensional. That's my biggest gripe, really.
Okay. All right. Another $1.99 super chat from Poe.
Super sticker?
I think he just put an emoji in there. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Poe. Appreciate that very, very much.
The planet climate thing has that's been a general thing with Star Wars always, though.
Yeah. All right. JJ, you're up next. 3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right, Chris, would you mind passing over me for the moment?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll come back. I'm not at my computer right
Elihu,
this second.
Go ahead.
Okay, just a couple little things. At the beginning, I did like the funny landing sequence, but how did the ship go from underwater to the next scene? It's right side up, being lifted out of the water.
I don't think they showed that.
Well, they had that walker crane.
They lower that crane.
No, the ship when it flipped, it was upside down. I slowed down the video.
Yeah,
and I saw the ship. I slowed down the video.
They send divers down and wrap it up, and when they start pulling it up, that's just how it flipped over. I mean, I don't think that's a necessary. If it's a gripe of yours, though, go ahead and gripe about it.
Yeah, it's a gripe of mine. The second thing is, why did that child eat every little bit thing, but he's scared of a little thing in a bowl, and he freaks out when it's on his face, like aliens? Like, come on, why are you scared to eat little things?
That child wanted to eat that thing in that bowl. Mando took it from him.
Yeah, but he said, don't play with your food. But the kid was scared when he hopped on his face. I'm like, come on, you eat things.
You can kind of tell they screwed up the CG there or something, because he goes to stab it, and he looks like he stabs it in the leg rather than in the body.
Yeah, I
noticed it twice.
He ate it at the end, didn't he?
I think he did.
He did. Yeah. He did. I'm about to see right now. The last thing that really kind of got me a little questioning was the very, very end scene. You see a little octopus climb down, and all of a sudden Mando does this. Does he have Jedi powers? Is he force sensitive?
I want to point something out.
That's action hero senses.
I want to point something out real quick. It's technology. It's his visor. The Mandalorians' visors, they can see practically everywhere around them with their visor. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, I thought I'm like, wait a minute, is he force sensitive for a second? Like, what the hell?
I chopped it up to action hero sense.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Anything else, Eli?
That's basically it.
Okay. Austinator.
I don't see him stab the leg. I don't see him. Sorry, I'm looking at the scene.
Oh, that's right. Austinator, 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so the big negative here is Baby Yoda did not eat any eggs this episode. So, no, I'm kidding.
Although they did throw in the reference to him doing it. Oh,
yeah.
They're writing that for everything it's worth.
So this one's gonna be kind of like a nitpick, at least. This one's more of a nitpick for me, at least with the last couple episodes, is the inconsistent time. Now, and there are episodes where I feel like it could go longer, and then there are episodes that could go shorter. Like this episode to me could have went at least a few minutes longer. Like it doesn't need to go. It didn't need to go like 10 minutes longer. Like it didn't need to be close to 50 minutes, but I'd have said maybe 5-7 minutes more to kind of put a little more meat on it.
I agree.
And maybe like show, because I would have liked to see more of Bo-Katan, even though we saw her quite a lot in this episode. It would have helped to have more in terms of like more action and a little bit more dialogue.
But it would have been cool, Alternator. I'm sorry to interrupt. If you could see Bo-Katan call in Ahsoka, telling them that he's on the way, that would have been cool.
Yeah, like maybe have it like be towards the end where like the ship is leaving and then you see like the camera pan down and then she's speaking on the communicator being like, hey,
Yep.
it's me. Just want to let you know I sent someone your way.
Yep. That would have been cool.
That I agree. And also, this is kind of like another issue, and this is going to be my issue throughout the entire show. The first episode sets up Boba Fett. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. I don't know if they're saving him for season 3. I don't know if he's saving him towards the end. But that's something they kind of have to address at some point.
I'm telling you, the only thing that I add in this, and the reason why I love that they haven't shown him again, is that scene from Empire when he's on the on the asteroid, and you don't know it until they take off, and then he takes off after him. I just have this strange feeling that he's tailing behind him all the way. They don't have to show me that because I know how he is. That's what I believe. He's somewhere in the background, and you're just not seeing him.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
that would match up with what he does.
Yeah, and you don't have to show us because if you're a fan, you know how he is, and you don't need to see that. It's in the back of your mind. You're like, ooh, where is he at? When is he going to show up? Go ahead, though. I'm sorry. It's fair enough to gripe about it.
By the way, I was watching the last episode. I'll pull it up. I'll send you the clip, Chris. Okay. You see this guy in the background with the rope, and suddenly in the background like a weapon walking in the background.
Whoa. Let Austin finish. Or is that it?
Sorry.
But no, those are really my main nitpicks. Like, there really wasn't anything really wrong with this episode, because really the only thing that's really, because I can nitpick it and be like, oh, this episode's bad because this, and this. But, again, those small problems I had, like, those are really just nitpicks. Like, I had no issues with this episode at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. But first off, before we go to you, Nick, I have one giant nitpick right now. Really, B? Really? Really?
Come on, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. I saw that. I was like, oh my God. All right. Oh, geez. That's so, wow. My. Okay. Nick, go ahead. And JJ after Shell.
That's nasty.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Wait.
So let me
wait. JJ after Shell, I'll get you up. Okay. All right. Nick, go ahead.
All right. So I do have some complaints, of course, because in this world nothing is perfect, and we'll always have our complaints. So, and that's what, as us as fanboys, that's what we do. So I'm gonna say that the running time is a little bit all over the place, and I will, like the also data I'll admit it's a little bit of a nitpick myself. I mean, yeah, they're like the first episode, which I enjoyed with a lot of the Marshall in particular. I feel like that was a little bit too much meat on the bone. But now I feel like this one's like, now there's not enough meat on the bone. Now I feel like I'm having a McDonald's burger rather than a delicious Portillo's burger instead. Except this McDonald's burger happens to be really good. So that's the case there. Now, of course, when Mando jumped into that, like, thing with the creature and then he just got back up, I'm like, bro,
Exactly.
You left a baby behind, man. Like, granted, like, I know, like, he's kind of protected in that crate and all, but just like, he came back up like, what, 2 or 3 times? And I'm like, and I get, you know, you're in the moment, things are heated, and I've tried to look at it from that angle too, but it's just like he kept going back up. I'm like, so hold on, you gonna go back up, or you go down, what's it gonna be? So that's just, one of those things that I'm like, eh. But overall, though, obviously it made up for it when, you see Bo and crew show up and they start kicking ass and taking names. So it's all good from there. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
And the...
I could be wrong, but he was in water, disoriented, monster on his ass, cage on his head, and people punching him with pitchforks. That would leave you a little bit of kind of...
Yeah, but the other Mandalorian just dived in there and shot the thing up. I mean, he could have done the same thing. I mean, he essentially did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's time how long he was in the water versus the other man.
Yeah,
okay.
he was in longer.
Let's put a timer on it.
All right. Shell, 3 minutes.
Okay, so I don't know if this is necessarily a gripe or more than a nitpick, but my first thing was, I was like, why in the hell are you going for the belly flop type freaking entrance to the planet? It looked more like the old Apollo missions or something coming in than it did the space shuttle. You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't understand why he was doing the belly first freaking entry. But that and I don't know. It only seemed like he said he kicked the engines on or whatever. You know, the thrusters to slow him down before you did. But it seemed like the ship was like awfully quiet until like right there at the end, and then it was like. You know,
Oh yeah, he threw the thrusters on last minute.
But they were supposed to have been on already. I guess he just kicked them up.
No, he had them off. He
put him on standby.
But anyway, it was kind of funny though when he's like, okay, I got it, and then bloop, off into the water. But I'm kind of like Comix though. When he dove in. Like you didn't hear him, you didn't hear him fire off a shot before he came back up for air. Mm-hmm. You should have, when he dove in, you should have seen like a couple of blaster shots go off, like he did when the chick dove in, right? Pew pew, and then he comes up for air, and then he goes back down, and maybe another couple of shots. And then that's when the other ones fly in and kick all the Quarren ass, and then open the door for him and pull him out. And whether he had Baby Yoda or not, or the child, whatever you want to say, then what's her name could have dove in and fired off another couple of rounds and then brought the baby up like she did, but. I think, yeah, we should have seen at least, have him take a few shots while he was in the water. But other than that, that's
your time.
Hey, I'd like to point something out if Shell's done.
Okay.
Bo-Katan and her Mandalorians, there was a distinct difference between the Mandalorian suit and their suits. They had vac seal. They could go out into space and get exposed to space because their helmets sealed. When they took their helmets off, you hear the snap, hiss, release. The Mandalorian's helmet doesn't do that, and I think that's a continuity error because all Mandalorians' helmets snap connect.
That's what I thought too.
But again, we don't know if the
Mando should have been able to breathe, and so when she was down there, she could breathe because she had her own air supply because of her sealed helmet, sealed to the vac suit part of there.
Because of different sects and different cults.
Okay.
No, all of their helmets.
It still undercuts the action of Mando, though. That's kind of my problem with this scene.
All right.
Yeah, so then a scene when they removed all their helmets, you heard all their helmets snap, hiss, and the vac seal released when they pulled their helmets
all
off.
that, but I have to go back and replay it.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
myself.
JJ, 3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. I had one gripe and one gripe alone. Everything that everybody was talking about, I can actually let slide because I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Okay, and I'm making a callback to a couple weeks ago to an episode of Star Trek Discovery. All right. What the hell was the boat for? Why couldn't they have flown? Because you look at the boat, it's got some kind of thruster engines on the back. Why couldn't they have just flown? Why did they need to be going across the water like that? It didn't make no damn sense.
That was a plot point.
Yeah. To me, like I said, I can forgive just about everything, even the age discrepancy of Bo-Katan. What the hell was the boat for? Well, I understand it was to drive the story a little bit, but it still made no damn sense. It should have been basically retrolifted or retro thrusters or whatever. Impulse.
Can I say one thing on that? That's
Sure.
going to be a planet that the people their main source of revenue was fishing. So it kind of makes sense that they have boats to fish.
And,
Well, they can still do that without being actually in the water. You know, they have that kind of technology.
Yeah.
Because you got skiffs that go across sand, go across water. You know, they could do the same thing without even touching it. You know, but like I said, I understand it was meant to drive the story forward. Got it, clear. It's just the fact that we're in a time frame that technology is key. There was no reason for this boat to exist.
Well, when you get into like the books and the games and stuff like that, you learn that they're everybody's got it seems like everybody's got a spaceship and all that stuff, but at the same time, not every planet is as advanced as the others.
I got that. It's just as far as the episode goes.
Wait. You're going to bring up advancements and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they've got a
Tatooine.
ship that flies there. They have landing pads for these ships.
Yeah, but it's also the like I said though, that's
right.
They've got all different sorts of modes of transportation and whatnot. Plus, like Danny said, it was you can tell, especially when he comes in for the landing and the dock master, with his freaking rubberized overalls and his sweater is clearly meant to indicate, like a fishing village type of feel.
I got all that.
But
I got all that.
Aston of outer space, which is Tatooine, still have repulsor lift technology.
Right.
Yeah.
I get all that. And I understand it was meant to move the story along. It was just that was my only.
I agree with you.
Only
Only
real gripe with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you actually.
Well, they don't have any water, so they couldn't have boats
Just
anyway.
hold on. Hey.
No, Chris,
Guys.
that was it. Chris,
Okay.
that was it.
Well, I'm just trying to say here, guys. We'll talk about this in a minute. Like I said, we'll talk about this as a group.
Yeah.
Let's get through everybody and
No,
make
that's
sure
cool.
everybody gets their say on this. Okay, let's just try to keep it streamlined. Okay.
No, that was it. That boat was my only problem.
My problem, and I know what I was going to say now. I think Eli or somebody. There's a few things with the landing and bringing it in. The Apollo thing, I will piggyback off of that. That's just to kind of make it feel real world. What's the point? It's Star Wars. We don't need real world. We don't need. I mean, I thought it was cool that they acknowledged an atmosphere and that there was something wrong with the Razor Crest that it made it so he couldn't enter.
His landing array was damaged, which means he had to do it manually.
Okay, I understand it, but I don't know if it was completely necessary. Looked cool, so I'm not going to totally diss on it. But the whole, I don't know, the whole idea of the stormtroopers is a really good thing to bring up here because they even joke about it. The three Bo-Katan and the guy. What's the guy's name? What was the guy next to him?
I don't remember his name. Yeah.
He sits there and goes like, and they can't shoot the broadside of whatever he says. It's like, okay,
Bantha.
we have.
I got a question.
Let me.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to make this so.
Go ahead, I'll go on.
Okay. I want to know what the hell. And this can go back to whatever his name is. I can't. Taika Waititi. When he showed the part where they couldn't shoot, it's like you just made this a thing. You didn't have to make it a thing.
He did.
You didn't. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong.
Well, even Bill Bird, he made that comment. I'm not a freaking stormtrooper.
Yeah,
like
and that's
shut up, man.
And I think Comix, you said it, and you said it perfectly. These guys went from being the clone troopers who were excellent shots for everything we know. They weren't the joke of everything. And then as soon as you call them stormtroopers and you kind of change their outfits a little bit, all of a sudden they become this just unable to shoot.
Well, they're supposed to be the elite troopers of the Empire too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. And they train. There's an academy for them. There's a place where they go and train, and all of this stuff is done. And they've referenced that in their own movies. They've referenced that these guys go to an Imperial Academy.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what they're getting out of that academy, I think that's when you send in, the budget committee and everybody else that handles things and says, "Listen, guys, if you don't get your shit in gear, you're done." And I mean, I understand the funny side of it, but they're not that bad a shot. It's not like every shot they make doesn't hit. We've seen them hit before. It just, I don't know. I would that is my big gripe right there. And
So Chris,
yeah,
that particular joke with the stormtroopers, any of us that are of age, in the low to mid 40s, upper 40s, even no offense, Danny, I know you're a little older than that. That's what we were raised on. That's what we watched Star Wars and saw, because the beginning of Episode 4, Star Wars before it was Episode 4, the stormtroopers couldn't hit R2 and 3PO.
Yeah,
that's the joke we were raised on.
Well, that part of the issue with that is if your heroes get killed, then there's not much of a movie. Yeah. So they have to have a reason why they.
Was on Endor. One stormtrooper actually hit Leia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also when they're coming in the ship in Star Wars and New Hope, whatever you want to call it, as soon as they're entering, they're hitting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so I don't know. It does bother me.
It's a plot issue, is what it is.
It's very.
I understand the joke is old. I understand the joke is very old. I got it. They've played it out and
Nick,
played it out.
Were you trying to say something, Nick?
I was just furthering what you're saying. It's very inconsistent. Like with the stormtroopers, that's like they're the endless butt of the joke, and like they've had these moments where they're super effective, like shooting Leia, but then all of a sudden, like 100 times they get shot, and there's no question of how they're ineffective at all. It just is like, you're the Empire, bro. You're not effective. Like, you're amateur hour, and you're on the Empire.
Yeah. I think what it is
to be on the Empire.
I think what it is I mean, this started out as movies, okay? It wasn't a entity, that was a book first and then became movies, okay? They were movies first. So there's that visual spectacle of, 1,000,000,001 laser bolts flying through the air, right? To give that visual spectacle, right? And they've done that from the beginning. But like JJ said, I think where the joke started, was the fact that C-3PO and R2-D2 crossed the hallway without getting hit.
But I don't think
they may not have been aiming for them too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I was getting to that.
And also, listen, you guys, if you ever see a war zone or anything like that, guys, there's a lot of that crap going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this is unheard of. It all started with Taika Waititi. He absolutely is the only one that you can blame for this, because he point blank referenced it right there on screen, and the whole scene was revolved around two troopers who couldn't hit this can or whatever the hell they were trying to shoot. Until that moment, it was never referenced that they couldn't.
Oh, it was referenced by Bill Barr's character.
Well, okay. What I mean is, yes. Okay, but
we actually saw it in.
I think that's where you blame it. Bill Barr's character. Again, I don't remember that part of it, so I don't think of it. When you show it visually, directly, right there on screen, and the whole 2 minutes you're watching it is only about that.
Mm-hmm.
That right there.
Well, it was referenced too that the clones were kind of clumsy in some things, because Boba Fett's dad, Jango Fett, was clumsy. If you remember, I think in the second one, where he's fighting Obi-Wan and he gets on the ship and he hits his head and stuff. So they got
that was put in there to reference that. Honest to God, that was there to pay homage back to when the stormtrooper hit his head. That was the only reason why they did it. They thought it would be funny to put it in there because it was CGI and they could do it. Maybe you want to make that point. I think they tried to make a point more to the point that it was hard to see in there because they always reference that it's hard to see in these helmets.
How do you see in these things?
Yeah. So there's that.
Well,
but
was that an Imperial ship? Basically Imperial looking even.
Yeah, it's from Rebels. They've showed it several times.
Yeah.
Basically, the Mandalorian is a Rebel spinoff with a Rebel crossover here in the last episode.
Yeah, it was a Gazanti cruiser freighter.
Who was the actor that played that commander? I've seen him before. I can't think of his name.
Which commander?
The one with the saber.
The one that Moff Gideon talked to and told him.
Saber. I know he's.
I think he was in one of the other.
He's a well-known actor.
I think he's been in one of the movies.
It'd be cool if Mando would lose Razor Crest and get another.
I think they're leading up to it.
Slave one ship like
because that ship is so trashed right now.
Well, and the thing is,
a high school vehicle
everywhere.
You gotta get something different.
Like red green, fix it for you.
One thing I thought was pretty funny when the ship was taking off, how parts kept flying off.
Yeah,
that was actually pretty funny. But one thing is,
took off in a single piece left there.
Yeah,
spinning.
I have to point out that Danny really hit on something that's really kind of fundamental an issue with Mandalorian, which is the whole thing of because he's stuck with the child. It's kind of hard to go adventuring with this kid, and he has to hand it off to somebody. I think that is a big fundamental flaw of this series.
He needs a Chewie equivalent.
Well, here's the thing, though. To me, it's starting to sound like a damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because
they paint themselves in the
first season. In the first season,
are you quoting me?
In the first season, they're like, he's a babysitter and it's the Baby Yoda show. And now that they're, putting the child in the background and actually making it more, giving the show back to the Mandalorian, basically. Now we're bitching about him handing them off to people.
Well, no, I don't think it's that so much.
It's not. It just shows you the issue with the child. And I agree. If he had like a Chewie character that he could hand him off to that he trusted, that kind of solves the issue.
It's always somebody else. And the thing is,
I'd even give him the part to the mechanic. I trust her. But frog lady had to know that little baby was eating some of her eggs.
Yeah. There's another problem. I said, does she not know this? And
I think. Remember she held the thing when she looked at him?
Yeah. But the thing is then they don't reference it again here. They're just like, oh, yeah, come here. Look.
Yeah, sure. We'll watch the thing that was eating my children.
Exactly. I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew. I think she thought when he looked at it, she's like, I don't know. I don't think.
And then, how could on the ship, he couldn't understand her?
Exactly.
With the ship, you try to land the ship, she could. Hey, I need you to put my hands right here. And she come right there and do it.
She
just take care of the child, and she took care of the child so they could understand each other. So how did she instantly learn his language?
Stick with the idea that his helmet has a universal translator and just go with it.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. We all know it doesn't.
Wait.
Should use the robot.
If they had just done so where was the robot during the whole time?
Yeah.
In his ship, when he blasted it, he did take out the trash.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? Okay, so real quick, you guys, when you see him, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's who it is. Titus Welliver, that's who this is. And when you see his picture without the thing, he looks very familiar.
Yep, very good at.
He's been in Argo, Transformers, Man on the Ledge.
I thought that's who that was.
He was in Shaft.
Was he in Doctor Who?
I'd have to go look. Well, I don't know. This guy's been around for a long. I mean, look at this. We're gonna go way back.
Busy boy.
I'm looking LA Law, Beverly Hills 90210, American Story, X-Files. That's probably where I knew.
New York undercover. I'm in there.
Air Force One.
What?
Yep.
Bro.
Military officer. Uncredited, of course.
Yep. NYPD Blue, Spy Game, Total Recall 2070, which is
Star Trek Voyager.
Weir.
Yep. So things that we might watch.
Like, that's why you look familiar.
Twilight Zone.
Backer
new
Boys.
one.
I remember in Backer Boys.
Deadwood. Jericho.
Shark. I remember that.
Prison Break.
Monk.
Supernatural.
Yes.
Lost.
War. That's right.
Let's see here.
Sons of Anarchy.
True
I
Blue.
remember that one.
Good Wife. Awakening. Yeah. So I mean, he's been in a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
He fit the part. He fit the part.
I agree. He did.
So I will say this though about this episode. What did not bother me was that age difference in Bo-Katan. She is not. I don't know. I do agree with the idea that they don't age slow, or that there's no reference to that aging difference.
Hang on.
But no. You let me finish my point, and then you come off of it. Come on, get with the program.
I won't be pickles. I want from an LDG, and I'll shut up.
I don't know if you can definitely go with the idea that she could be older, and you're referencing a cartoon. It's very hard to show age.
Well, that's what makes the
cartoon.
show feel like a cartoon when they do stuff like this. They could have aged her up a little bit.
I think she's pretty.
I don't think she looks absolutely young. I don't think she looks old, but then again, it's 50 old.
She's supposed to be in her 50s at this point.
Look at.
I could see her pulling off mid 45.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, that you know what? I know people who are in their 70s that I swear to God are not 70.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Chuck Norris.
How old did Boba Fett look at the when they
play the Boba Fett thing? You know what? Have you not seen? Hey, listen, I have seen 40-year-old American Indians who look like they're 70. It all depends on your life. He came out of a freaking Sarlacc pit. You don't think that's going to affect you a little bit and make your,
I'll give Chris that because
Boba Fett was about what 10, 11 years old. When
how old am I? How old am I?
What?
How old am I?
You're 40. You're 41.
43. But my point is I have more people that guess I'm in my 30s than I have. But my point is I have more people that think I'm in my 30s.
Just messed up again. Hang on a second. I'm refreshing.
Hang on. Katie Sackhoff is 40 years old.
Yeah, she's 40 years old. So
she's 40. She was born in 1980. So her age is pretty much could be right from the Clone Wars up until now.
Well, she's 20 in the Clone Wars, and
depending on how old Bo-Katan was in the Clone Wars.
Potentially she could be in her mid 40s. Potentially, it depends on how old she was in Clone Wars.
The cartoons make you look younger than the real life,
right?
Because Obi-Wan looks like he in his 30s in the Clone Wars and stuff, but we know he's not.
Well, between episode 1 and episode 2, there was 10 years. Okay. So he was probably in his mid to late 20s, supposedly, when episode 2 came out, as far as Obi-Wan.
I think he was in his 20s when he was with Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be in his 30s.
Well, Obi-Wan,
I
had to reset crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Well, Eli, what now, Eli?
I had to reset because I don't know what you guys just said.
We're still on the age. We're on the age thing. I just think the age, again, people age differently.
Mm-hmm.
Do what now, Eli?
Can I finish saying what I was saying then?
Yeah, I said go ahead, and you didn't do it.
Sorry. The reason why I asked him how old does he look, because Boba Fett was about 10 or 11 when Anakin was about 25 or 30, in his mid 25s. And Anakin died when he was 55, 50, 60 years old. So how old is Boba Fett now? About 45, 50 years old? So how old would Bo-Katan actually be and looking? So Mandalorians may be aged differently, but how do you explain that?
Explain what?
Well, the fact that
first of
Boba Fett
all,
looks
Boba
older,
Fett's
but
not a
yeah.
Mandalorian.
Again, I don't think that. I think I think what you're doing is what everybody's doing with this age thing. One, you are pinpointing age to look, which is not something you can do. Two, women sometimes age less time. Now, I'm gonna say what I said earlier about experiences can change how you if you smoke all the damn time, it's gonna show up on you. It's gonna do things like that. But I will say that Bo-Katan, she absolutely has been in war. She's done a lot of things that couldn't have been easy on her. I don't, but I can't say for sure that yes, she should have been older looking. I can't say that. There's nothing I can. What you're going into is you're nitpicking something that you can't even go down the street and you tell me what every person you see how old they are. You tell me if they're 50 or 60 or 70.
That's a true statement, Chris. Sometimes it depends on your race and your creed too. Because I mean,
there's so many factors that go into that.
If you go to Japan, they age faster than Americans do. I've lived there before. So a 50-year-old Japanese lady will look totally different than a 50-year-old American lady if they live the same kind of lifestyle and stuff. It's just genetics. So you're right.
I mean, so when people are hanging up on that and then they're trying to reference, ages shown here and there, I'm not saying you're wrong because they do set definite ages, whether or not you know the absolute age, 30s, 20s, this, and you can kind of add it up and say that we know this person's this age, this person should be this age. But again, your experiences in life, your own genetics, your ethnicity, what you do in your life, period, what you do to yourself. I mean, you tell me you're going to find a heroin user who's 20, who's not going to look like they're 40 or 50. Trust me, I've seen it. It's not that easy to say this person is this age. So I'm okay with that.
Also, you got to remember we're in the we're in the sci-fi world. In the sci-fi world, people look at Spock. He aged differently than the rest of the people on Star Trek. Look at Superman. So we don't know. We haven't seen it, and I agree with what Comix Division said. We have not seen any kind of literature saying that they age at a different rate than humans, but that could be a possibility. We don't know.
Well, and it says too on her Wikipedia that she is human. So Mandalorians are human.
Yeah, I understand that.
Not now.
Human or humanoid? That's
human. It says human, specifically human.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Species human.
I find more issue, and I think I found more issue with the fact that all of a sudden, in the very beginning of this episode, he could talk to the frog lady like nothing.
Well, it was like, here,
he's
take
the whole time.
I don't think he's really talking to her.
I don't know what you're saying. Now he's understanding her husband and her like nothing. And again, stick with. If he talks to everybody and he can understand everybody, stick with what I was referencing is not that I believe this, not trying to say that it is like this, but just use the easy plot jump off that he has a
universal translator.
Just get it over with.
Here's the force.
Let me make a statement of what you said, Chris. We don't know how much time passed from the time they got off that planet to the time they got to this water planet. So it's stretching.
Okay,
she could have taught him, or he could have picked up some of her dialect.
It would be nice to know how definitive.
Well, that's the problem, though. Unless they specifically, just mention it, they could have mentioned it in passing. It doesn't make it believable. It's like, but I have to agree with Chris.
Yeah, I agree what you're saying, but look, it took us 2 seasons, 3 episodes to find out why he didn't take his helmet off. So maybe another 4 or 5 episodes.
Fans complained.
he may just go with and take his helmet off the last episode in front of the
with the conversations that they had.
I like that.
With the conversations that they had, you wouldn't even need to be fluent in another person's language. It's like, hey, you see that lever right there? Hold it. I mean, if I could. I could have the same conversation with, somebody on the other side of the planet You know, I don't know their language, but I can
Yeah,
I can gesture and
Yeah,
stuff like they
the way I
did.
took it is that he pointed to the cantina and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
over there at that tavern. Okay, I'll go
Yeah.
over there."
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
that's
Then
how I
also-
took it. But
We know that he could understand her. We don't know whether or not she could understand him.
oh, she could understand him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they,
Because they were talking when she was using the robot, or excuse me, the droid in the previous
Right.
episode.
Yeah,
You could tell
I
that
think,
she understood basic, and most aliens do understand basic, even if they can speak it or not.
yeah, I think Mar right here says it best, really quick. If Katie Sackhoff looks that good when she's about 60, problem is solved.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us will have a problem. Okay,
Dude. All right, so another person that popped into my head with all this age talk, right? Tina Turner, okay? Tina Turner always
those legs do not look
she
like a
always
70-year-old
looked at least 10 years younger than she was, if not more, okay? I mean, she was in freaking Thunderdome.
Say I love her in
In
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, she was at least in her mid 40s, if not older. You know, and she looked like
She took care of herself.
she didn't, and that was even going after, you know, that was even after going a few rounds with Ike, you know, and she still looked good. So
Jesus.
you know,
Can't forget.
Okay,
Gillian
guys.
Anderson.
Can we talk about how
All right.
Keith Richards looked 50 when he was 20 and he still looks 50 when he's 50?
Exactly.
Come on.
I'll deal with the devil. Okay, guys, let's get to the final part of this where we're going to give our individual grades. A through F, F through A, no numbers, no nothing. Figure it out yourself, because if I have to figure it out, you're getting thrown into the Starlight pick.
10.
Boom.
Oh shit!
That's what I'm
Wait a
talking
minute.
about.
Okay.
All right, comics.
I know I'm not going to make Danny happy with this one. It's a great episode. It did knock my socks off. I give it a B+.
Yeah, that.
Comics or comic. Sorry.
I'm gonna give it an A-.
Okay. Very good. Bear.
I'm a solid B+.
Okay. Positive.
Yeah, B+ because of the stormtrooper mess mainly.
Okay. What? B what?
B+.
Okay. B plus. Also. Okay. JJ.
I give it a good strong A-.
And you're frozen, JJ. Just so you know.
Good job. Good job, JJ.
Hear you.
Eli.
I'm going to give it an A-.
Okay. Austinator.
I think I'm gonna piggyback off of Danny, JJ, and Eli Who. I'm gonna say A-.
That's what I'm talking
A
about.
minus. All right. Nick.
I'm going for the B. Straight.
Straight B. Wow. Ooh. And Shellback.
Don't fuck it up, Shellback.
Come on, Phil. Come on, Phil.
Wow. Thanks, Danny. God.
Putting that pressure on you.
You gonna give it a C or a D?
Yeah, no, I'll say A-.
There you go. There you go.
minus.
There you go.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Peer pressure is a beautiful thing.
I
Yeah.
will go with my esteemed colleague to the technical right.
Yeah.
Comics. I go with B plus. I mean, I could see the A minus, but the translator thing, the talking right away, like, okay. I mean, I don't know.
That's why I give it a minus.
Yeah, but B plus for sure. I'd say overall that's a solid B plus, possible A minus. If we're going to go as a whole conjoined, right? What is it? A collective. That's the word. Collective. If we're going to go as
Man, come on.
I would say it's a strong B plus and a possible A minus.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us would say anything more than this is absolutely one where it needed to be going now.
Yes.
It answered so many things we did not know about.
It's
And-
definitely a step in the right direction.
And I swear, if they jump off at this point and go and follow it to he gets stuck between a planet between here and Ahsoka. I don't care if they show Ahsoka. I'm okay if he goes and tries to find her in the planet, and then that's where they bring in Boba Fett and he chases him, or there's a fight between them or some skirmish between them. That's fine. We don't have to get to Ahsoka the next episode, but we need to stay on this path of he is on this mission. This is his mission, and he is going to stick on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, yes, keep the damn kid next to you. He should have jumped in after that kid.
He's not giving up
They
that
have
kid.
nappies,
I
come
guarantee you. He is not giving up that kid.
His nails are broken, but they have nappies. Hello.
Well,
No,
now
if,
he has to keep him next to him because the freaking pod got destroyed.
Yeah.
That's true. I thought about that one too. I was like, what the hell are they going to do now?
They can
He needs
fix
a
that.
Beskar baby pouch.
Nappies, hello.
Yes.
Do you want Boba basically to kidnap the child? Basically,
Oh, there is 5 episodes left, so yeah, he could ransom for his armor back. Yeah.
I also wanted.
blackmail.
I will say this last thing. One of you guys mentioned how it would have been awesome to see Bo-Katan sit there with a communicator and say, "Yes, I'm sending somebody your way." I would have loved it had they said, "I'm sending somebody your way," and he has the child. I would love to reference that this child is known not just throughout. Because listen, why else are the Imperials after him? This
I
is
know.
not just
Yeah,
them
we still
that
don't
know
have
about
I
any
it.
haven't
idea.
answered that question, yeah.
But the thing is they are not the only ones that knew about this child. People were going after it. There were bounties out on it. There are people protecting that place when they found him. If they had done that communicator thing and then said, and he has the child, what would you have thought?
That's why I said it makes no sense for him to keep leaving it with people and there's a bounty on the child's head. That makes
And
no
that's
sense.
the thing. The bounty
That's a
is
big issue.
gone. We know that they had the communicators all through last season. The bounty isn't
And they had
gone.
trackers too. Don't forget they have
Exactly.
freaking trackers.
They've left that plot point in the dust.
Well, they should have because it was dumb.
It was. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up.
Indeed.
And guys, thank you very much. We're going to go around one more time and tell everybody about where you are or where you can be found, all that fun stuff. Comics, go ahead.
Well, you can find me on the YouTubes at Comix Division as well as the Twitters at Comix Division. That's all I got. Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said that's all I got.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, go ahead, Danny.
I'm Comic Chat, Danny Graham. You can find me on Twitter as well as YouTube. My next show will be Robert Sholmes later on tonight. Then tomorrow will be Chaotic Conversation where we're doing the top 50 villains. I think we're doing 39 or 40 through 31. So if you get an opportunity, please catch us tomorrow. Appreciate it. Thanks for the invite again, Chris.
And not a problem. I enjoy having all you guys on here. Bear, go ahead. Tell everybody about where you can be found and all that good stuff.
You can find me at Bear Nerd Fun, and you can find me Saturdays there with Wes, and occasionally Final. His work schedule has changed, and occasionally a Friday late edition. If I'm not going out and playing darts, I'm going to have a beer and relax and all that, and you'll find me here. And yeah, check out the channel because there's a couple new songs. I got a new one on the way. They're just rolling out. Yeah.
All right. Oh, sorry. Positive, go ahead. Tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and all that good stuff.
yeah, Positive Candor. You can find me on Twitter at Positive Candor or YouTube Positive Candor. And yeah, definitely want an episode where Boba Fett basically hands the child to Moff Gideon.
I like
That'd
that.
be interesting. JJ, tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, all that good stuff.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me a little bit everywhere. Later on tonight, you'll find me on HanStar's channel. Pardon me. 11 p.m. Eastern for Jackbox Game Night. Then you can find me on Monday nights on my channel. Do a live stream called Randomness at its Finest. Random panel, random topic. Come by, check it out. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You know, ding, ding. And do the same for everybody on this panel. Don't take but just a second. Check them out. Subscribe, everybody that has content. There's a lot of great content creators up here. And last but not least, you can find me on Twitter at SithLord3827. Sometimes I tweet. Sometimes I retweet. Sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check it out. Thanks for having me on again, Chris.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Up next, Elihu Who.
Yes, me. You can find me drunk.
There you go.
Whoa.
And when I'm not drunk, you can find me on Wednesdays at 12 noon Pacific time on my show called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology. Basically, I break it down to basically anybody can understand. And pending to further notice upon delivery this Friday, LDG Pixels, myself and Jedi Bill will be doing the one chip challenge on my stream. Yes.
So I you said cosmetology just now. I know that you didn't say that though.
That's what I heard.
Cosmology. Sorry, not cosmetology. Sorry, okay. Cosmology.
Really say what the hell?
Because hair on the
we're doing hair in space.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, I actually was thinking about doing a snippet of how astronauts do cleanliness and hygiene in space. I
think Eli's had too many cosmopolitans.
He wants to know the world.
People are curious about how astronauts survive in space, basic daily routines. And I was thinking about doing a show on that. About how they shave, brush their teeth, bathe, and everything like that. I to be totally sanitary. Everything to be crystal clear, don't worry.
Okay.
Wow.
Next, Austinata.
Yeah, what's going up, everybody? I'm that guy in the salmon suit. But everybody knows me as the Austinata. I'll be back. I have a YouTube channel. I am on the road to 100 subscribers. I'm at 82 right now. I do streams throughout the week. I don't really have a set schedule yet because, again, time permitting. But usually I do like a fan fiction stream on Thursday where we just read stupid fan fiction and get a good laugh out of it. And recently I started doing a show where we talk wrestling. This past week we discussed 30 years of The Undertaker. This week we're going to be discussing our Survivor Series predictions. So go check that out. Also, I have a Twitter, the Austin17. So if anybody ever wants to hit me up in my DMs, just hit me up there. Also, if you guys don't have Twitter, that's perfectly fine. I got Discord, too, at the Austinator. So if you want to hit me up in my DMs there, do that as well. I'm also a stream whore and a topic whore, so you can find me anywhere. And Chris, thank you for having me on.
Not a problem.
Chris, thanks for having me on. I forgot about that.
Somebody DM that poor boy. He's wanting somebody to slide up in there so badly.
Hold on. JJ and Shellback, really quick. Just tell me, if you were to close your eyes, could you not hear a younger Justin Proper?
Yes.
I just was listening. I was like, oh my god, he sounds like Justin Proper.
Yes.
It's like, oh my god.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah. Now I feel dirty. Thanks.
dirty boy.
Okay, Nick. 32 flavors of NickWeiser. Is that a type of beer that you're planning on coming out with soon?
When I learn how to make beer, that will be a thing. I'm in Chicago area, and we love our beer up here. I work in the beer, of all the beers, so it's a wonderful thing. But anyways, 32 flavors of NickWeiser is the name, or if you want to go by the technical /youtube.com/Nick's Toxic Waltz. And, of course, I'm on Parler and Twitter under NickWeiser. And since 32 flavors, I cover all sorts of content. If you want food that's fat-filled, gluten-filled, I talk about it on that channel. I also, if there's any metalheads on the channel, I've been covering some albums recently. I got more in the can. Of course, I'm joining the club and talking Mandalorian as well. And I got a logo that's in the final stages. It's beautiful. It's going to be full of orange. And I'm going to be up there looking cool and legit like the rest of you guys. And Chris, thanks for having me on. Hails to the chat. And it's a pleasure just chatting with you guys over Star Wars.
All right. Last but not least, Shellback TJC. Tell everybody about yourself, where you be found, and what you've been up to.
Well, you can find me here and there on level 1313 of Coruscant, holding a sign that says "We'll work for Death Sticks."
Well played, sir.
You don't want any Death Sticks.
Now, on a serious note, sometimes I'll be on Bear's channel. On a Friday or a Saturday, for what is it? 4 Horsemen and the late editions, respectively. Sometimes I am on Wes Moody's channel for I think he has car chat on Mondays usually, and
Cheers.
Tuesdays he does Trekking on Tuesday, and
Excellent show, bro.
on Wednesday, which I may have been on maybe 1 or 2 times, but I can't remember. I've slept since then. But anyway, on Wednesday, Wes has whatever Wednesdays, at least most of the time. But the place that you can find me most consistently right now is on the Latino Slant on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific, for X-Files. We watch X-Files via Discord, and comment on it during breaks. There are commercial breaks because we actually have a dude that is playing it off of the Hulu, and then afterwards we talk about it for usually about a half hour or so afterwards, more in depth. But yeah, for right now, I'd say that's about it.
How is he doing? Is his leg better? Is his leg better?
No, that's not Paulie. You're thinking of Mexican Iron Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. Never mind. Sorry. Sorry.
All right.
As far as I know, he is doing better though.
Okay, good.
All right.
Mexican Iron Man broke his leg in an accident.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but that's why I asked. Sorry, mistaken person, dude. Sorry.
All right, guys. So with that said, I am Chris tonight. Lots of things going on here. Gaming streams. We're going to get back to the gospel according to Chris. We have the Mandalorian Roundtable. We have the weekly Rumble, the weekly wrap up. We have what else do we have? Oh yeah, the Rule of 3 on Wednesdays. On Mondays and Tuesdays, you can find me on the other 2 KHAOS Central shows, which is the Chaotic Conversation with Danny Graham as our host over on his channel. This week we are going to get back to our top 50 picks for the best villains. We're on which ones are we on now? 30.
We're on 40 through 31.
Yeah, that's it. 40 through 31. And then on Tuesdays on the KHAOS list over on Big Afford Entertainment, that's Nzo Hodges' channel. You can check out all of that information and more down in the description box where most everybody's links are down there, including the channel links for KHAOS Central and all that other stuff. Guys, thank you very much. You guys were a great crowd, great chat. And you guys, always great. I love these conversations. You guys just bring it every week, and I really do appreciate that. With that said, guys, have a good night. Everybody say goodbye.
Good night.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels, and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute, and you can also send us an email at sean@seanstackhousereacts.com and Chris Knight at therealreview3000.com. And be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.